It is no surprise that Carmelo Anthony was one day going to the Hall of Fame. It was officially announced, according to Shams, that Carmelo Anthony has been elected to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame class of 2025 as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Carmelo is one of the most prolific scorers of his era, and it all began during his time with Syracuse. Although he was there for only 1 year, but he put up one of the best freshman seasons in college basketball history. He led Syracuse to the national title, and from there he got drafted to the Denver Nuggets as the third overall pick in the 2003 NBA draft, which is one of the best NBA draft classes of all time, featuring LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, the list goes on and on. He played 8 seasons with the Nuggets. He made the Western Conference Finals in 2009 when they had Kenny Martin, Charles C. Billups, and company there, but they lost to Kobe and the Lakers in the conference finals. But then in 2011, one of the biggest changes of his life came when he got traded to the New York Knicks. And when he came to the Knicks, we will say that the first 3 or the first 4 seasons in New York were astonishing for Melo. And his best season with the Knicks came in 2013 when the Knicks won 54 wins and he registered his only scoring title. His time with the Knicks ended in 2017. It was a bittersweet or a sour end of his time with the Knicks, but after that, he bounced from team to team. He played with Russell Westbrook and Paul George in Oklahoma City Thunder. When they teamed up, many thought that they would have been a threat to Kevin Durant and the Warriors, but that never happened, not even close. When he made his comeback in the NBA, because there was a certain point where Carmelo was not playing, he was not getting any phone calls, he made his return when he signed with the Portland Trail Blazers, and he had a solid season in 2021. He received votes for Sixth Man of the Year. Carmelo's career, the best way I could put it, is he's one of those players that although he succeeded and he's well worthy of a Hall of Fame, but a player like Carmelo, he could have succeeded and could have done much more. Yes, he made 10 All-Star appearances. Yes, he's won 3 Olympic gold medals, which is very tough to do. And he also has scoring titles and etc. But can you imagine the conversation we would have had today had Carmelo would have taken defense much more seriously? Could he have been more of a facilitator? Because Carmelo's game, he's more of a isolation and score. There's a lot of players that's their game. They like being in isolation, but being in isolation doesn't help you to win championships or to have long-term success in the NBA to compete for a championship. For those of you who don't know, we see LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh as the big 3 for Miami, but the original plan was LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo to get together to do a big 3. But Carmelo is a guy that focused more on his money, which is nothing wrong with that. But Carmelo had chances of being in more teams to compete. He had that in 2009 with the Nuggets, in 2013 with the Knicks, but he could have done more. He could have gone out of the first round much more often throughout his career, but that didn't happen. I feel like there are certain parts of his game where he could have improved, where he could have maneuvered, he could have made some adjustments to his game, but he didn't. Not to take away from everything he's accomplished in the NBA, but he is just of many more examples of players in NBA history that they became Hall of Famers, they had individual success, but they lacked in team success. And yes, there are great players that won't get a championship because winning is hard. Not everyone can win a championship. There's going to be great players, and there has been great players that haven't won an NBA title. Not everyone can win one. But with Carmelo's talent, I felt that when the opportunity presented to him, he didn't fully maximize his potential of having team success. But congratulations to Carmelo Anthony. Well deserved, without a doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer. Anybody who thinks otherwise, I don't know what they're seeing, or have they not watched Carmelo while he was playing. It was a joy to watch Carmelo play throughout his entire career. I'm not sure how the Denver Nuggets fans feel about him today, but because, it didn't end well with them. But obviously he's more beloved during his time with the Knicks, especially by that fan base. But this is well deserved, and we will be looking forward to hearing his speech in Massachusetts when it's his time to get inducted into the Hall of Fame.